Here's your Eeveelution guide. People are doing a lot of things wrong with Eevee if we're being honest. Alright, I'm gonna have to adjust in my seat because we're gonna have dad talk here. I was actually gonna make a whole different video about this, but we're just gonna do it right now. Why are you hunting Eevee? Happy screen time, and thank you for subscribing for Pokemon Sleep Road Tomfoolery. Would you look at that? We're back. And today we're gonna spend some time catching up on where we've been, hit the highlights about what you've missed on my account, and I'll give my too late thoughts on Eevee week now that it's already started. So you'll either be filled with regret or happiness. But one thing I know about Pokemon Sleep is trust your gut. And you're the one making those decisions, so you got this. Alright, as the longtime viewers know, our current strategy is to prepare a long-term ingredient team. Not a team of 5, a team of all ingredients. One that no matter what dish type we get, we can get the ingredients we need. And that between our great Golduck, our healer, and these ingredient specialists, we should be able to take on any week that comes our way. Then the real fun begins. Our other goal right now is to be maximizing our Dream Shard intake. So we've been grinding dish levels at Cyan Beach most recently, but I'm gonna take you back to all the way from where we left off. So let's get ready to get a little spooky, because the Halloween event's not over on this channel. So in terms of ingredient Pokemon we're looking for, we need honey, oil, and tomato coverage. And so while I'm in the Halloween event, as you've already seen in some of the previous videos, I'm looking for a Bulbasaur candy, and everything else that Bulbasaur needs. Like Bulbasaur, you need some socks? I'll get you some socks, man. So taking us back to the morning of November 1st, we woke up to a new Drifloon sleep style. And by Drifloon, of course, I mean Drifblin. Neroli has awarded this sleep style 2 stars. And because this was the Halloween night sleep, I dropped a Bulbasaur incense to get that 3 times candy. And wouldn't you know, I got a triple honey Bulbasaur. Of course, the day that we stop making videos is the day I get a 3 honey Bulbasaur. Overall, it looks pretty good for an ingredient specialist. We've got helping speed and inventory in relevant slots and ingredient finder M at 75 with a neutral nature. I also really like having sleep experience bonus for something I'm planning to take with me on a long leveling journey, because that means that the other Pokemon that sleep at the same time as this Pokemon are going to benefit as well. So yeah, I feel perfectly content that this is our good Bulbasaur. And I decided to name him Jack, as in Jack-o'-lantern, because it was Halloween night. We got a Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Bulbasaur, and a Bulbasaur. Okay, sorry, we didn't catch all of those, but we saw all of those. But we did catch Gulpin, as well as Venusaur, Bulbasaur, and Bulbasaur. Now, we already have a great Gulpin, so I'm not holding my breath on getting a new one. This one's got a few 2-minute inventory, ticking up the spots where I need it to be, having skill trigger M and S. Next, we take a look at the Venusaur. And although we want Bulbasaur for honey, look, if we get a tomato Venusaur, like, what are we going to do? Well, if it's great, we're going to use it. And at first glance, it looks pretty great with helping speed and ingredient finder, but ultimately Rainanex says we already have better options for tomatoes. And now we look at another Bulbasaur, triple honey again. Hey buddy, you're good. I would rather have sleep experience bonus rather than research experience, but we're all about that maximum honey life. And we'll look at one last Bulbasaur, and it turns out to be ABA. What a fun Bulbasaur to compare to the Mycosaur we already have. I'm sorry, sir. We just don't need you. And the new triple honey Bulbasaur is better than the old one. So this one's got a nickname of Biko, an homage to Miko, who will sadly get left behind. That said, I'm still willing to look for Bulbasaur through the end of the week. I still am holding on to a Bulbasaur incense to use the very last night of the event for that triple candy. Alright, now it's November 3rd, and we got ourselves a Halloween Pikachu. It's the purple hat kind. Can't leave the event without the event Pokemon, right? And what do you know? It's pretty good. Helping speed M, berry finding S, just not anytime soon. What a great purple guy to sit in our box forever, you know? Alright, November 4th, the last day of the event. And we got a new sleep style, Gengar atop belly, which means ghastly candies. Triple X. And we caught one more Bulbasaur that has an ABC ingredient spread. Have you ever heard that saying, save the best for last? Well, it's not true. So Biko it is. Let's evolve him. Alright, so Halloween event was successful as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't really worried about catching any of the ghost Pokemon. I was mostly in it to just get lots of candy, and specifically lots of Bulbasaur candy, which we got enough to take this Bulbasaur up to level 30 eventually. But for now, we got it up to level 25. Spoilers! Alright, so we wrapped up that event, and then we're headed to Cyan Beach to continue to bring up that area bonus, and to grind dishes, and to put Pokemon on our team that need experience in the night. And you may have seen commentary around that when you get a Pokemon Go Plus Plus, you get a lot of dozing sleep. Well, imagine if you got a Pokemon Go Plus Plus, but then also had a newborn child. We didn't set out to prove anything, but buckle up for some dozing sleep. On November 5th, we caught a Bellsprout. It's got pam pam pam, triple tomatoes, and we've got some good sub skills here, and nature. I'll let this animation speak for itself. But Rainanex does say it is the best tomato option I have found so far, so I named it Option. November 6th was special. Hey, shiny Igglybuff. If you wanted a chance to be on my team, you had to come a lot earlier. Oh, and it's triple honey. We already invested in a Bulbasaur, honey. The green and a shiny Jigglypuff. Oh, darn it. The green in a shiny Jigglypuff's eyes is actually Bulbasaur trying to escape. Its sub-skills were pointless, so Toxicroak, not triple oil, so we probably don't care. In fact, this Toxicroak is exactly as good as the one that we already are using, that is AAB. So then on November 7th, I caught another Krogunk. This one is ABA, so we don't care. On November 8th, we got Slumbering Sleep, but mostly just from not being in my bed. Dad life. We already have 2 Walrein in this account that have Helping Bonus and Berry Finding S, so without those here, we're not interested. Thank you. Next. And I was about to skip November 9th where we got a Psyduck, and I want so bad to catch another great Psyduck and have a duo Golduck team. Like if we're going to be logging in often enough for a Golduck, we might as well log in for 2 or 3, right? But this one was killed by nature. It was so naughty that it died of natural causes. Then on November 10th, another Psyduck, and it's fine, but nothing that we're gonna use. And wow, November 11th already, it's a new week, and the new week brings us a Mankey. A Mankey that has 1 helping speed main skill. Oh my gosh, I'm sleep deprived. It's got a helping speed sub skill and nothing else going for it. It even has ingredient finding up nature. You're gone. And on these days that I'm catching Mankey and Psyduck, please know that that means I did not catch a Bellsprout or a Krogunk, either because they all fold or because we just didn't get any. But yeah, you've seen a lot of dozing sleep and it's not done. All right, and the next day, the 12th of November, we got another Mankey. Those hungry monkeys. But this one has Berry Finding S and Helping Speed, so probably the best one that I found, but I'd like to think we could do better. And especially if I'm gonna have an experience gains down nature, I'd like it to be very worthwhile to invest in. That's me, that's how I'm playing this account. And we also got another Krogunk, and this one is AVA, which means a big waste of my time. On November 13th, been watching Big Brother Canada reruns. I was gonna say 13th. We got a Topbelly Pinsir, which you'd have no reason to know this, but means we actually only have 1 sleep style left for Dozing Sleep on Cyan Beach. It's a Heracross something. I looked up what it was, but I didn't look close enough to know which sleep style it was. And we caught a Krogunk, and it is AAB, which means that we don't want it. Imagine if you had to watch these videos day after day, it would be maddening, right? Aren't you so glad you didn't have to live through this? Also, how dare you be ingredient finding down? Get out of here. Which brings us to last Thursday where we caught a Bellsprout and Weepinbell. The Weepinbell is ABC, so we don't care. I feel like I'm doing a lot of not caring lately. It does seem like a very fast Weepinbell though, so he should have no trouble getting to the professor quickly. And the Bellsprout is also related to this Weepinbell, ABC, which may as well stand for Already Been Transferred. This is what happens when you find a good Bulbasaur. Everything else goes to sleep. Next day, Bellsprout, but it's a dang it. It's a potato farmer. We would have been glad if it was a tomato farmer. And although it's a potato farmer, it's not a very good one. I actually have a shiny potato farming Bellsprout. And this Bellsprout actually had me revisiting my potato situation. I'm gonna keep looking for a Geodude that we can just auto play up to level 50. And that would be worth doing that too, of course. But since we're gonna be spending a lot of time on Cyan Beach in the coming weeks and months, and because I can't get Dozing Sleep forever, right? If I can start rolling in a lot of Kangaskhan candies, I actually have a Kangaskhan that could be my long-term potato farmer. I had already given it a nickname and everything, but that's when I started getting into the ingredients side of the game and realized, like, okay, Kangaskhan is not the way to go for potatoes. There's better options. But, like, won't it get... Sorry, what's the opposite of nerfed? Won't it get anti-nerfed one day? If no one is using Kangaskhan, then eventually the not select button devs who are now running the game, they'll say, we need to help out Kangaskhan. People aren't using it. No one likes it. And then I'll say, haha, I liked it all along. And Saturday is Bellsprout Day. And wouldn't you know it, this one is actually good, except for ABC. If we're gonna do a Bellsprout, it has to be triple tomato. So then yesterday I caught another Krogunk. A, B, 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 B. And its skills are a D and its nature's an F. Alright, its nature's a C+. Which brings us to Monday, the day I'm recording this. And we managed to reach friendship level 20 and 21 with Krogunk. And Krogunk number 21 is a bean sausage boy. Sorry, girl, who doesn't even like to find bean sausages. She looks very carefully for berries. And guess what? It only took us 20 Krogunk to find a triple oil Krogunk! But don't get too excited because we have to see if it's good. Wait for it. It's a berry finding... Oh. Hey, harass nature. Jeepers, mister. You're the best Krogunk I've ever met. But I think we could still find a better one probably. Now, I did some Rainanexing, and at level 30, this one will not be better than the current level 30 one we have. It won't be better until level 50. And then obviously it will be better at level 60. By definition, because it has oil. Now, lest anyone think that ingredient finding is not that important for an ingredient finder, take a look at this. I simulated in Rainanex this Krogunk Toxicroak, evolved it, digitally. And at level 60, it should bring in 73 oil per day. Now, if we were to change that skill trigger S to an ingredient finder S and then subskill it up to an M, or just get really lucky and find it as an M, of course, look at the difference. It would find 27 more oil a day, which made me feel like, what? So it's on my ingredient list as an option, but I kind of want to find one that's going to give me 100 a day. And maybe that means we need to cut our luck here and go try to hunt a Shinx. The king. Alright, now let's talk about Eevee Week for a minute here. First, I'd like to call out the thing that I don't see anybody talking about, which is that Eevee Week is the exact same as Eevee Week last year. Like, they copied and pasted the event information. So the only reason why it feels different this year is because people who have had the premium pass that whole time have 12 more gold seeds than they had a year ago. So we have better skill Pokemon, and that main skill chance being at 1.5 times, which, yes, is the exact same as we saw last year for all Pokemon. It feels better this year because we know more about skill specialists and how they work. Now, I feel like I've seen a lot of Greengrass Isle slander out there in the Discourse, and that's fine, but I keep seeing people being like, I went to Greengrass Isle last year and I never saw any Eevee. Yeah, in Eevee Week last year, back before anybody knew how drowsy power rankings work, back before people really knew that they should be using healers, like we're talking about people who were running a Charmander as their best berry Pokemon on Greengrass Isle back in the day, and then they're like, why am I only getting featues and Rattatas? It's supposed to be Eevee Week. Anyway, I went and looked it up. Eevee Week was actually the first time I missed a sleep session, and so I only have 6 days of spawns, but in those 6 days I got 12 Eevee. So like, players who say you can't get Eevee during Eevee Week, you're doing something wrong. And people are doing a lot of things wrong with Eevee, if we're being honest. I was actually going to make a whole different video about this, but we're just going to do it right now because we're on a roll. Okay, here's the $1,000,000 question. Why are you hunting Eevee? Look, Eevee is one of the popular kid Pokemon, Pikachu, Eevee, the Kanto starters. Like, I get it. Eevee, merchandise the heck out of it. Eevee Week, okay? It's a thing. It's a big deal in Japan, I think. And like, great. People love Eevee. Okay. But why are players hunting Eevee so obsessively in this game? Alright, I'm gonna have to adjust in my seat because we're gonna have dad talk here. See lots of posts of, is this Eevee good? Should I evolve this Eevee? What should I evolve it into? And I think because there's so many options to evolve Eevee that people just think that it's important in the game, and the fact that so many people are constantly asking about Eevee, people think it's important. But here's your Eeveelution guide. You should be looking for an Eevee to get a Vaporeon. That's it. Okay, I've got to pull up my notes because I've got some stuff to talk about. Every Eeveelution has a different main skill, and other than that I just spoiled the tier list, I'm going to read the rest of these in alphabetical order so as to not show favoritism. That is, alphabetical order by main skill name. You can get Charge Strength M on Espeon, Cooking Power Up S on Flareon and Glaceon, Energy for Everyone on Sylveon, Energizing Cheer S on Leafeon, Extra Helpful S on Jolteon, Ingredient Magnet S on Vaporeon, and Moonlight on Umbreon, which is a fancy way of saying Charge Energy S+. Now here's the thing about the evolutions. With the exception of Moonlight, every other main skill here has other skill specialists that do this skill, and that do that skill better than the evolution. This is why Vaporeon is the only relevant Eevee choice, because the skill specialist that shares this skill is Heracross, which number 1 is hard to come by, and number 2 is worse than Vaporeon at the expected skill count for its skill. That's just the Rain and X truth of it. So again, in alphabetical order, if you're looking at an Eevee and you're thinking, well, what should I be evolving it into? You shouldn't be looking at, well, let's look at the pictures of the evolutions and which one, I mean, if you just want to pick the one you like the best, then just do that. But you should be looking at the main skill list, and if you decide that you value one of the main skills over the other, you shouldn't be hunting Eevee unless the main skill that you value is Vaporeon's, which coincidentally is the one that Eevee has, although Eevee is not better than Heracross. Okay, but if you want Charge Strength M, you should be hunting for an Ampharos. You should be hunting Mareep. If you want Cooking Power Up S, you should be hunting Magnemite to get a Magnezone. If you want an Energy for Everyone healer, you should be hunting Ralts for a Gardevoir, or in the early game, the Jigglypuff line. And if you really want Energizing Cheer S, sleepy sleepers, I'm looking at you, you should be hunting Slowpoke to get a Slowking. If you want Extra Helpful S, you should be hunting for a Gallade or an Arcanine, Ralts and Growlithe. And if you want Charge Energy S, then you clearly don't care about playing this game well, and enjoy your Umbreon, I don't care. So let's talk about Eevee's role in the game. There's 2 reasons to hunt Eevee. Number 1 is to go get a great one and get a great Vaporeon. The other reason to hunt Eevee is if you've already been hunting for one of those other Pokemon for a long time and they're not panning out. Because Eevee and the evolutions, that is, are in the top 3 for those main skills, but never the number 1 option. And if you're not using the evolution for its main skill, again, then you're just playing the game for fun, so why are you even worried about this? So I actually don't think anybody should be actively hunting Eevee unless they're hunting for an Ingredient Magnet S on Vaporeon. And yeah, that's my opinion, but also I'm right about this. When I see people who have accounts where they're like, oh yeah, I've already got 40 Eevees, I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like, get a Vaporeon. Maybe you need one other Eevee. Like, I use a Glaceon. I haven't found a good Magnemite yet. I evolved one that had Berry Finding S into a Jolteon just to use during the Raikou event. But like, do you plan on running an Ultimate Eevee squad and you need a perfect Eevee for all 8? Like, get those dex entries and get out of there. Do you see anyone out there questioning, I caught a Ralts and it's male, should I evolve it into Gardevoir or Gallade? Everybody already knows you want Gardevoir. So why are we asking this question about Eevee all the time? It's 2024, people! Okay, and a disclaimer, if you find an insanely good Heracross, then yeah, use it, like if you... okay. Now, a couple more points to make this a real Eevee guide. Umbreon. Everybody says, if you get an Eevee with Berry Finding S, make it an Umbreon. And I look at that and just go, what? If you want a Dark-type berry Pokemon, go hunt Houndour. It's the same thing as the other evolutions. The nice thing about Umbreon is that it is the absolute best at what it does. It's S tier up there with Vaporeon, the top of its class as its main skill, but that's because no other skill specialists have this main skill because it's kind of useless for a skill specialist. Like, why do you want to trigger this skill more? Okay, sorry, let me explain this. It's a self-healing skill, and the reason you want healing is so that the Pokemon can work faster and produce faster. And for a skill specialist, that means so it can produce more. So we're saying, Umbreon, heal yourself more so that you can heal yourself more. It doesn't make any sense. You can take any bad Eevee and it can be a fine Umbreon. And that's why people say, oh, use it as a berry finder. But you're telling me that you're gonna put this Eevee on your sleep team for night after night, just to make it an Umbreon, just to have it be outclassed by a Houndour or Houndoom. And yes, I know that the skill was recently changed for Umbreon to make it better, but it's still not worth it. Umbreon is good for one thing and one thing only: Tron vibes. Umbreon's shiny is maybe the best shiny in all of Pokemon. Okay, maybe it's not a reason to hunt Eevee, but if you do get more than one good Eevee, you don't necessarily need 5 Vaporeons, so Definitely you can use the Eeveelutions, but just figure out which of those main skills is going to be most helpful to you, extra helpful less. And pick the Eeveelution based on the main skill that you need in your account, and stop asking other people which Eeveelution you should do. It's just getting ridiculous. Alright, so I chose Greengrass Isle for the event. Okay, wait, sorry, I'm not done about this. Stop writing Eevee guides. We don't need Eevee guides anymore. We need main skill guides, so people can know what main skills are in the game and which ones that they want to go after to complement the Pokemon that they have. And stop starting every Eevee guide with, "It's complicated." This isn't a Facebook relationship status. It's EVEZ. And here's the easy way to know if your Eevee is good. We can evaluate if an Eevee is good in 3 steps. Number 1, does it have a main skill chance down nature? If so, it's bad, get rid of it. Number 2, look at the subskills at levels 10, 25, and 50. You're looking for skill trigger S and M, helping speed S and M, and helping bonus. The more of these that you see, the better your Eevee is. If it has 1, we'll call it usable. If it has 2, we'll call it good. And if it has 3, we'll call it great. Then step 3, does it have a speed of help up or a main skill chance up nature? If so, we'll upgrade your previous rating from usable to good, from good to great, and from great to amazing. Otherwise, it'll stay at its previous rating. And here's why I'm talking through all this right now. Chances are you're not going to get 8 amazing Eevee in this game to turn into 8 amazing Eeveelutions. And everyone is worried about making the wrong choice on this, but the wrong choice was actually hunting Eevee to begin with. Because if you don't know why you're hunting Eevee, and if you don't know that it's good, then what are you doing? Why are you even asking? I think people just see people doing it and they mimic the behavior. That's why we keep asking about Eevee. So feel free to send people this video if they keep asking. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I think I'm coming across as like really arrogant, and maybe I am a jerk about this. I don't know. But like I'm feeling like I'm getting worked up, okay? Bottom line is, stop asking which Eeveelution and start asking what main skills do I need? Because maybe you don't need an Eevee at all. Maybe you need something that an Eevee doesn't even offer you. I guess the reason that I find it annoying is that I feel like asking which Eeveelution is basically asking, can somebody explain 8 of the main skills to me? And like, just catch Pokemon and see what you get and figure it out. That's not that hard. Sorry if I'm offending anyone. Okay, so I am on Greengrass Isle for Eevee Week. My goal for Eevee Week is to bring my area bonus of Greengrass up to 75. I already have a great Vaporeon. I'm not really worried about catching more Eevees. Like, if they're hungry, sure I will. Okay, I take that back. I think I would like to get a Flareon. I have not come across a good Magnemite yet. I love Glaceon, but I don't want to get another Glaceon, so I'll get a Flareon. And maybe it'll complement the berries at some point somewhere. But as you can see, I'm just taking my own advice of Magnemite's not working out, so I'm looking at other options. Mostly I'm excited to just get a lot of candy and hopefully bring my Glaceon from level whatever it is up to level 50. Because it will get better at level 50. And I still need a name for my Glaceon. What the heck? It's a Glaceon. You didn't give it a nickname? No, its nickname is Glaceon. Alright, and since we're still talking, I'm gonna keep talking. First, let me show you this weird visual glitch that I saw in the game while I was away. I think this might be a meme format. Next, let me tell you the thing that I started doing because I'm up all night with a newborn. I have been putting 2 healers on my team in the night and Pokemon that need to be healed because I can collect the triggers in the night. Since I'm not tracking on my phone, I can track on the Go++ and I can log into the game. And then I figured out, well, okay, after 4 a.m. it says, do you want to sync with the Go++? And I just say no. And then I put in the team that I want to get the experience right when I sync it and run the sleep data. So all of that experience gets dumped on the Pokemon that I want it on, but I don't have to run those Pokemon overnight like I did when I was tracking on my phone. And so while in the past I've talked about the value of the premium pass is the biscuit value and catching more Pokemon more often, I think the value of the Go++ is actually, if you don't need to heal your Pokemon from the nighttime, you can just pull up those Pokemon and drop experience on them. Now, this doesn't work with just the Go++. Let me tell you, you have to have a Go++ and a reason to stay up all night, which, okay, the game is called Pokemon Sleep, so it doesn't really make sense, but that's just the life I'm living right now, so that's what I figured out. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm thinking that this week I might get to the pod expansion with the Dream Shards. So then we'll just be wanting to collect Dream Shards to be grinding our Pokemon up to level 60. Alright, and now we're going to get into the really deep cuts, but before we do, let me just update you guys on what I'm thinking to be doing with this channel. Thank you for watching this far. Obviously, if you've made it this far into the video, you enjoy this content, and I really do appreciate you coming and being here. I'm sure that you've already liked the video because that's the kind of watcher that you are, and I really do appreciate your support. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be trying to do weekly update videos. So obviously today we covered a long period of time, but I'm thinking that instead of trying to do daily videos going forward, I'll basically just take everything a week at a time and say, here's what happened in my account last week. Here's my thoughts on what's going on in the world of Pokemon Sleep right now. Here's what happened in my account in case you're trying to keep up with how I'm running things, in case you're trying to learn from it or do things a certain way. If I could get heart to heart with you here, I've had some time off work for paternity, and man, I've just fallen in love with my kids all over again. I wouldn't say that I was like taking them for granted or anything, but just spending all this time with them while I've been off of work. Obviously, I've been putting the YouTube stuff on hold. Man, it has just been awesome to make memories with them and to connect with them, and I decided that I don't want to take that more time away from them on a consistent basis every day just for YouTube, since this is a hobby for me, right? So thank you for respecting that decision. Hopefully you'll still love the content that I'm going to be bringing to the channel, but planning on doing it on a weekly basis, which probably means longer videos but less videos, so saving you time in the end. Okay, the deep cuts. Here are other things that happened in my account just while we're keeping up here. I have an Abomasnow that I brought up to level 30. That's going to be our tomato farmer in the short term. And it's probably good enough to last us a long time, so we can afford to look for an elite long-term tomato farmer. Bringing that Abomasnow up to 30 allows me to bring Mutemath, our Mr. Mime, that's ABA, up to level 30 as well, so that he can be our potato guy. Although technically Gobert, our Meowscarada, at level 27, it gets milk at 30, but it's still the better option for potato. And for now, I'm not like hurting for milk, but I'd like that Meowscarada to just be level 30, the long-term milk option. I can't imagine we'll ever need a better milk farmer than that one, because it has ingredient finding up nature and ingredient finder in the first two sub-skills. Anyway, while we're on Cyan Beach, hunting Krogunk and Bellsprout as you've seen, I think I'm going to keep looking for a better Krogunk, and again, probably should be hunting Shinx, but the way that I'm running this account, I probably won't be back to Greengrass Isle for a while. And if you're watching this and you want the context on that, just maybe here's a link to the playlists or something, like go back and just watch all the other videos because I've kind of explained that strategy already. Sorry, you're gonna have to go do your homework. Oh, also, this is kind of funny. I didn't find a Skeledirge for any of the event for Halloween, but I have sent out Skeledirge candy 9 times in the last 12 days. Hope you've got a good Fuecoco, because I am single-handedly trying to fund it. And yes, since Halloween, I got Balanced once, Slumbering once, Dozing 15 times. 15. I should have been on Lapis Lakeside hunting Dratini. But we've got bigger goals. We've got a unique take on the game, and it's been working for us so far, so we're not gonna give up now. Okay, here's a fun fact about the Go++. Again, this is, okay, we're getting to like the really deep cuts of stuff about my account and my life. So if you have toddlers, here's a fun hack for getting them to put away their laundry. The Go++. I would hold it up at this point, but it's in my room sleeping right now. Maybe I'll get slumbering again for first time in forever. Okay, so anyway, I've been doing dad camp with my kids. Basically, while mom's helping out the new baby, during the day, I'm running defense, hardcore. Defense wins championships, as we know. And yeah, I'm just trying to show up for these kids. So we've been doing all kinds of adventures and all that stuff, but also interspersing in chores onto the list, but making it fun. Like, no, this is part of dad camp. We're gonna do these chores, and it's, you know, this is fun. We're doing it together, right? So anyway, I got my kids to put away their own laundry, but to do it, I used the Go++ to play Pikachu noises. So I basically assigned, you know, a shirt is this Pikachu cry, a pants is this Pikachu cry, socks are this one, and just as they put them in the drawers, they were just excited to hear, what is Pikachu gonna say when I put this in? And yeah, I got them to put away all their laundry, which they've never done before. Like, I've tried to get them to help me do it before, and you know, putting away laundry is like not fun, especially if you're a kid. But get a Go++ because or if your kid likes Pikachu, they'll go for it. Thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't, please like the video. If you've watched it this long, I've hoped you've liked it. Like, not the button one, but like I hope you have had a good time. Let's do this again sometime. Happy researching.